SUNY Potsdam inaugurates its 18th college president with a ceremony on campus today for Dr. Suzanne Smith. The theme, elevating engagement, with Smith wanting to focus on getting the college on the right track financially and put the focus on the student. Here's 7 News reporter Sean Brinda.
Inside Hosmer Hall at SUNY Potsdam's Crane School of Music, faculty and SUNY leaders on hand to watch Suzanne Smith get officially sworn in as president of Potsdam State.
Our task now as a campus is to finalize the wording of our strategic plan, and then in the fall we'll work as departments to operationalize what each of us will do to ensure we make progress around these goals and elevate engagement in the years to come.
Smith arrived at SUNY Potsdam in April of last year after a nationwide search, tasked with figuring out how to deal with a $9 million structural deficit. In the past year, program cuts have been announced. More than half a dozen tenured faculty were told they had a year left on the job, and 30 other faculty members took voluntary separation agreements. SUNY Chancellor John King at Friday's inauguration credits Smith for her drive to lead SUNY Potsdam into the future.
Suzanne asked questions, listened to the answers, looked around, came to understand the college's history, its challenges, and its potential, and began seeking the community input she needed to put together a plan that would set Potsdam on the path to a solid and successful future.
For Smith, securing Potsdam's future is important for the community, faculty, and students.
Our focus is going to be on making sure that our student success is at the forefront of everything that we do, and that we are able to provide an applied learning activity for every student before they graduate, and that we are able to engage our campus and our local and regional community. We want our faculty, staff, and students out in our region, and we want our region to be coming to our campus to celebrate with us.
Smith came to SUNY Potsdam from Georgia Southwestern State University, where she had served as provost and vice president for academic affairs since 2018. Sean Brinda, 7 News.